Did you guys see that Instagram quote that was circulating around recently? The one about how if you don't come out of this quarantine period with a new skill or more knowledge or a side hustle, then it's not time that you lacked, but discipline. Remember that quote? And then another one went around. It was the same quote, but it canceled the part about discipline and said, no, 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 that's not the case. You don't lack discipline if you don't use this time to get a new skill. It said that's a privilege. You're privileged if you can turn a pandemic into a positive situation for yourself. And you're doing just fine as you are. Now, I don't have a problem with either version of the quote. I think they both make very valid points. But I was just wondering why some people saw it as it had to be one way or the other instead of both. I think this has become a trend on social media where if something that's meant to be positive doesn't align with our personal life experience, we sometimes feel the need to make it wrong or to make the person who posted it wrong. But here's what I think some of us are missing. These Instagram quotes, they're Instagram quotes, right? Mostly generated by people we don't even really know. And most of these quotes are simplified, taken completely out of context, probably even copied from a copy of a copy of a copy with no real source. So if you're scrolling through Instagram and you find yourself getting triggered by what some stranger posted on their feed that happened to get hundreds of shares, which means at least a part of it rang true for some people, then the real issue that we're having is not really with the quote itself or with the person who posted it. And I'm not just talking about that discipline quote. This can apply to any quote that's intended to be positive. So not hateful quotes, but quotes that are intended to inspire people, okay? Obviously, no quote can apply to every single person's circumstance under the sun. But aside from that, the surface message, which is whatever the quote actually says, that's not the real message. That's just the catalyst. The real message is how you felt about the quote, right? That's the real message because that's the feedback. You can actually do something productive with that. So if the quote makes you feel inspired to do something different than whatever you've been doing, then that's great. That's the real message for you, regardless of whatever the surface message was. However, if the surface message triggers you and makes you feel ashamed about your life choices, then that's also great. Now you have something you can unpack if you're willing to look at it. That's useful feedback. Now, getting upset at an individual for posting an innocent message that was meant to inspire somebody to take advantage of any of their spare time while quarantined, whether they're privileged or not, that's missing the point. In fact, if anything, it's distracting from the real message. And maybe the real message is you've been spending too much time on social media because you're taking things too personally and you need a little break. Or maybe you're a bit sleep deprived because the kids are running you ragged. And you're a bit sensitive to anything that implies that you're being lazy, which you clearly aren't. It's certainly easier to make somebody else wrong instead of looking at what we can do to take better care of ourselves. And that's what self-care really means. It means using things like this as an opportunity to learn and grow and become more adaptable. It means making whatever internal shifts we need to make to use whatever's happening around us to learn more about ourselves. We can't control what other people are posting. All we can do is manage our response to it. So maybe that means we need stronger boundaries with who we follow and or how much time we're spending staring at our screens. Maybe it means taking longer breaks from social media and using that time to catch up on rest, or taking more walks in nature, or journaling more. I don't know. But whatever the solution is, it's got to be something that you do for yourself, not something that you try to make somebody else feel guilty for doing. That's not as productive as making an internal or environmental adjustment. We don't want to be spending our precious time trying to convince somebody that we've never met on Instagram that they're wrong for posting something that was meant to be inspiring. Again, I'm not referring to anyone specifically. This message applies to any post on any platform that triggers us, myself included. Just my 2 cents. If this message triggers you, again, that's a great opportunity to look at what that's all about and sit with it. Maybe it reminds you of some past trauma. I don't know. But if something's coming up for you, that's a powerful growth opportunity that we don't want to miss out on. Or you could always just reach out to me and attack the messenger. Either way, like I said, it's feedback. The only question is, are we willing to invest in the habit of acknowledging that it could be feedback and treat it as such? Or are we going to continue ignoring it and making it about the other person, which is only going to keep us emotionally vulnerable and tethered to what everybody else is doing and posting and saying? If this resonates, please share it with your followers. And otherwise, if you have anything productive to add to the conversation, please leave a comment and I'll respond to all of your comments. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. I add new videos daily, so make sure you click to subscribe so you don't miss out. And if you want to see the next insight, just click on over to the right. You can also follow me on Instagram @LightWatkins, and I look forward to seeing you next time.